As we close out the year, I like to take time to look back at all the blessings and inspirations that our guests have brought to both you and I. This month, I have curated a very special lineup of guests that include never before heard excerpts from interviews, as well as the top rated episodes by you, our Empowered Within community. If you'd like to be in the know of all of our events, giveaways, and new episodes, head over to jenniferpilates.com and hit subscribe. Thank you so much for being a part of our Empowered Within community. Enjoy today's episode. Welcome to Empowered Within, a soul-quenching, transformational podcast that will set your soul on fire through candid and inspiring conversations. Leading experts, celebrities, healers, and I share our journeys of how we've overcome challenges to living an empowered life from within. I'm your host, Jennifer Pilates. Welcome to another episode of Empowered Within. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to introduce you to our guest today. Shannon Kaiser is in the house. She is the best-selling author of 5 books on the psychology of happiness and fulfillment, including the #1 bestsellers, The Self-Love Expert, Adventures for Your Soul, and Joy Seeker, and the forthcoming Oracle deck, Unshakable Inner Peace, coming this November. As an international life coach, speaker, and retreat leader, Shannon helps people trust and believe in themselves so they can live their highest potential. Shannon has been named a top 100 women to watch in wellness by Mind Body Green and your go-to happiness booster by Health Magazine. Shannon has also been recognized as a must-follow Instagram account for inspiration by the Entrepreneur Magazine and a top Facebook account for daily motivation by Mind Body Green. Welcome, Shannon. I'm so honored to have you on our show today.
Oh, it's so great to be here. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. So Shannon, I wanted to dive right in. When you and I decided that we were going to do this interview, I have all of your books in your Oracle decks. And yes. You've been a mentor of mine for years. And I was guided by the universe to go over it. So I went over and I picked out Joy Seeker. I was guided to open up a passage. And if I have your permission, I would love to share it with our listeners. Okay.
Yes, please.
So where I was guided to read, it says, "Welcome, Joy Seeker. There is an enormous amount of pressure, fear, and frustration on the planet right now. People feel overwhelmed and hopeless. We are fatigued, emotionally drained, and concerned for the well-being of the planet, our loved ones, and ourselves. Fear, judgment, and a lack of faith are at an all-time high, and they seem to be dictating our lives. For many of us, we've lost the capacity to find our joy and see any real magic in being alive." I find no coincidence that is where I was guided to open up, given the state of our lives this last year. Shannon, I'm wondering, what advice can you give all of us to bring joy back into living again? Because this has been such a transformational time on a humanitarian level, on a global level.
Absolutely. And I find that it is giving us an opportunity to really recalibrate and go inward, because so many of us have not been able to go outward, and even in my own experience, I'm a world traveler. I write all my books from different places. And even that's a big part of the Joy Seeker experience, following your biggest dream. And by not traveling this past year, I've had an opportunity to go even deeper inside and really, truly discover what matters most. And I think this is a grand opportunity for all of us. And what we are learning, and really as a collective, and as we move forward into this kind of next evolution for all of us, it's really about the things that we kind of took for granted before. And I find that joy is in the moments. It's not in chasing some big dream. And I think I had it backwards before, and a lot of us do, where it's that next achievement, that next goal weight we hit, the soulmate we finally, the getting out of debt. We look at joy almost as parallel to happiness. And happiness is actually fleeting. It's a moment by moment thing that can come and go. Whereas joy is a state of being. We allow it. We are joy. Just think of children being birthed out into the world. They're just like curious about life, or puppies or anything that has just been born. It's just like in this pure, pleasant state of experiencing life from a place of gratitude and joy. So when we want to tap into joy, what we have to do is stop trying to reach joy and simply allow it. By one of the best ways is to start by being grateful for what is and appreciating what matters. And in that book, I'm so glad you read that, because I started that passage there where I realized we have gotten so disconnected from joy, but really replace the word joy with true self, because our true self is joy. And we've gotten so far disconnected from our true self just because the world has been worlding and we've been trying so hard to fit into it. One of the biggest shifts for me has been to disconnect from the world as far as I'm no longer going to try to fit. Instead, I'm going to be who I really am and let the world adjust. And I find that that's the truest expression of joy.
I couldn't agree with you more. And there was another statement that you made, and I love how we're just vibing and the universe is just flowing for us today. You wrote a statement that said, I'm not a fit into a box kind of girl. And I know I personally 100% resonate with that. And I'm sure tons of our listeners do as well. I'm wondering, what was the feeling in your heart that brought you to that statement, that brought that statement to life for you?
Well, it's interesting because for me, I looked at my whole life. And when I was younger, we moved around a lot and I was bullied because I was the new girl, and then I would eat my feelings. And at age 9, I had eating disorders and self-hate. And that cycled through for many decades. So it was really about a lack of self-love. And I realized I was always trying to fit in. And so if I was in situations, I was trying to be what other people wanted me to be. It was just this constant losing myself. And so I got to a place in once I stepped into this career, and between each book, I tend to write about what it is I truly want to learn. And then I dive into the book and it becomes this beautiful process. And then it works. I found self-love. I found joy. I found peace. But in this particular zone, really, we try so hard to be what others want when we don't really ask ourselves, well, who am I really? What is it that really brings me joy? And going back to our childhood and thinking about a time where we really truly are really connected to your best self. You know, in my coaching practice, this is one of the first questions if we're looking to find who we are, what does bring us joy. Because a lot of times you ask and people say, I don't know, there's too many people suffering out there. How dare I go after my joy? Or who am I to show up when, you know, all these people need me? But really, it's who am I not? Because what I have found is when you start to activate your own joy, which is really a self-love practice, you're not only lifting up yourself, but you're lifting up all those around you. And that's one less person hurting on the planet. That's one less person in pain. So really, I look at it as a service. We're being of service to the world by being in our light, by being in our joy.
That is so beautiful. Well, Shannon, I can't thank you enough for being on the show today, for honoring us with your incredible energies, insights, and knowledge. This has been a wonderful experience for me. And I know that my listeners are so going to just enjoy the show so much.
Oh, it's been so great to be here with you. Thank you for all that you're doing. And I'm really excited to keep moving forward and sharing our joy.
Well, I know our listeners are going to want to be right by your side, as am I, through your next venture. For our listeners, where, Shannon, is the best place that they can go to find you, reach out, and buy everything from you?
Yeah, well, you can, of course, all the books are available on my website or through just Shannon Kaiser, through any book online retailer. My website is playwiththeworld.com or shannonkaiser.com. And that's also where you can go to get the Discover Your True Self quiz. And on social media, Instagram and Facebook, it's Shannon Kaiser Writes, WRITES, as my author page. And I'm always sharing positive messages and joy. My whole commitment with all of what I put out online is to have a safe place for you to feel seen and heard and reflect on your own life to move you forward.
And I am in a testament that it actually is true.
Yay.
Shannon, thank you again. This has been an amazing show. I'm so honored. And as we say, until next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to Empowered Within with Jennifer Pilates. Your feedback is important. It helps me to connect with you and gives me insight into who you are and what you're enjoying about the show. For today's show notes and discount codes from today's sponsors, head over to jenniferpilates.com. Until next time, may you live an empowered life from within.